Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the CWS episode 56. Guys, I know it's been a long time since a episode of the CWS. It was like 5 months. So, I hope you don't judge me on that. And also, today, we're going to have a show for you. But what are we going to do on this fine day? Wait a minute. Judge? Day? I think I know what pay-per-view we're going to do, guys. Why don't we do a Judgment Day? But why don't we do it in 2003? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Today's episode, it's Judgment Day 2003. Culminating at the Charleston Coliseum in Charleston, North Carolina on May 18th, 2003, it is Judgment Day. You will be the judge. Ladies and gentlemen, 13,000 fans are in attendance for this pay-per-view with a buy rate of 317,000 people buying this pay-per-view from home. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a year later, Eddie Guerrero would be facing JBL for the WWE Championship at next year's Judgment Day. But what happened to get us from here to then? Well, why don't we find out? Ladies and gentlemen, our two main events are being built as Triple H versus Kevin Nash for the World Heavyweight title and Brock Lesnar versus Big Show in a stretcher match. Oh, and some dude named Mr. America. Whatever happened to him? Let's watch the first match. So, we just had Stone Cold Steve Austin come out to say that he is going to be watching the show from the rafters as a fan. Very good way to actually start the show, build up Austin to come out. And yeah, so we're going to kick things off with a 6-man tag. John Cena and the full-blooded Italians, the FBI, versus Spanky, better known as Brian Kendrick, Rhino, and Chris Benoit. So let's watch this match. So we just had the 6-man tag match, and this was a really good way to open up the show. John Cena doing the raps. This is actually what saved his career because he was drowning in that way. And basically, WWE were going to say that, yeah, you don't pick your ideas up and you don't give us an idea, you're gone. I enjoy the rapping. I enjoy the Doctor of Thugonomics. I think it was a good way to show that he can be an arrogant, loudmouth, obnoxious prick, but also at the same time, he can do his job and he can wrestle. It's really good, I thought. FBI, we had Chuck Palumbo and Johnny Stamboli in the FBI's corner with Nunzio on the corner, basically being the manager. Good way to kick things off. Spanky getting the majority of the defense in, basically getting the pudding kicked into him. Really good way to get the tag, hit a Hurricanrana into the corner of the FBI, rolls into a tag to Chris Benoit, and basically Benoit just destroys him, destroys FBI, destroys John Cena, German suplex, gets up on top, diving headbutt, John Cena Irish whips Benoit into the corner, Spanky tags him, double leg drop kick from Spanky onto Cena, tries to get Columbo into the sliced bread number 2, which is a really good move, I think. It's basically a running, spinning jump. But no, gets caught on the top rope by Nunzio, gets dropped onto Columbo's knee, and then the kiss of death by the FBI gets to 1, 2, 3, 4, the FBI and John Cena. Really good way to open up the show. Good 6-man tag, I thought. We'll see how the pay-per-view carries on and see how well it goes. So, let's do it. So we just had Austin in the Skybox grabbing a beer and getting a hot dog, and then Eric Bischoff comes in to basically be like, co-general managers, 50-50, let me stay and drink half your beer and eat half your food. Very nice. So he gets basically a hot dog, doesn't want to eat it properly, then he gets a beer, gets it in a red cup, Austin just smacks it, it's like, yeah, that's Austin. Then we get a tag team match with the pay-per-view debuting La Lizzie Stones taking on Scott Steiner and Test. This was a pretty good tag team match. Having 2 tag team matches in a row to open up the show, and now a little bit not, a little bit tasteless. I think personally, I think this match should have been on a little bit further on, or maybe have the 6-man tag on a little bit further on. But bar that, this was a good tag team match. La Resistance debuted just 3 weeks ago on Raw, basically targeting Scott Steiner for what he was saying about the US, the war in, I think it was Iraq at this point, could be wrong on that one. And then basically Test coming out to basically form this makeshift tag team of Test and Scott Steiner with Stacy Keibler as a manager to these 2. Jerry, shut the fuck up. You are now just being Creepville. So shut the fuck up. Not a bad tag team match. La Resistance worked pretty well. They didn't get a lot of offense in this match. They basically just got their butts whipped in this match, and only got the win when Test big booted Scott Steiner out the way, the old double choke slam, 1, 2, 3, La Resistance get the win. This would also fuel a feud between Scott Steiner and Test, which would go on until Bad Blood, where they would have a match, and Stacy Keibler's managerial skills were on the line. So pretty much not a bad tag team match, just after the 6-man tag, probably needed a singles match just to freshen the palate. But yeah, Savon Grenier and Rene Dupree were good in this match. Rene Dupree would go on to be on SmackDown about a year later, ironically enough challenging John Cena at next year's Judgment Day for the United States title. So let's see what is next on the card. We just had Mr. America, better known as Hulk Hogan, walked backstage, and we had Gregory Helms interview him in his persona, saying that my sources tell me that you are secretly Hulk Hogan. What's up with that? I love that. And then basically Hogan does the exact same thing to Gregory Helms, saying that he's the underneath the suit, he is a superhero. What's up with that, brother? And they basically say that their sources are idiots. Then we had fucking Eddie Guerrero. I love Eddie. Eddie is one of my favorite all-time wrestlers. Best, great on the mic, great in the ring, technical wrestler, fucking awesome, guys. We had Eddie Guerrero talking about why this match, Josh Smash Views was interviewing Eddie Guerrero, saying that this tag team match is now going to either be a handicap match or you forfeit the match. Well, Eddie's gone and found himself a partner, needed to find somebody just as crazy, local as the family, and he found Tajiri. Yes, the Japanese buzzsaw. Love these 2 as a team. This is going to be awesome. So, obviously, Tajiri goes, we lie, we cheat, we steal, essay! That was brilliant. So now it is going to be a tag team match. 3rd tag team match in a row, but this one, ladies and gentlemen, is a ladder match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Let's do this. So we just had Eddie Guerrero and Tajiri versus the world's greatest tag team in a tag team ladder match for the tag team titles. I think I've said tag team more times in like the first 9 minutes of this video than I have in any other video so far. The first match was good to get the crowd going. The second match was not the best match, but for storytelling wise going forward, it was okay. This match was good. There was a lot of psychology going into this match. Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas were not ladder match specialists. They are technicians and wrestling based team. They are good. They were teamed with they were part of Team Angle with Kurt Angle. He had surgery on his neck. That's why he's not at the show currently. He will be back at Vengeance, I want to say, and he would be Brock Lesnar in a triple threat match. I can't remember who was in that triple threat match. I think it was Big Show, if I recall, to win back the WWE Championship. But this match was really good. There was a couple of sloppy maneuvers. Eddie and Tajiri were not hadn't tag teamed before, if I recall, at this point. So there were a couple of botched moves at the beginning, but it really picked up pace. A lot of uses of the ladder. really good way to basically stop Team Angle from being up on Eddie. Ladder in the middle of the ring post. Tajiri just uses the ladder, kicks the ladder into Shelton, then kicks the ladder again into Charlie Haas. That was a good way. Beautiful jump. So Shelton's on top of the ladder. He jumps, hits Tajiri, who's on a ladder being held by Charlie Haas. That was a great move. They would normally do that move with Shelton Benjamin jumping over Charlie Haas, but they do it with a ladder. Great move. A sunset flip powerbomb from Eddie Guerrero to Charlie Haas. Nearly didn't get it, but manages to grab Charlie's leg and pulls him down carefully. This was a good match, I thought. A great tag team match. Not the world's greatest tag team's best ladder match. That would be at One Night Stand Extreme Rules with the Hardy Boys. I think in 2006, I think that was for the World Tag Team titles, if I recall. But that was one of their better ladder matches, I think, personally. But Eddie and Tajiri win. Reason why Chavo was not here, Chavo suffered a torn shoulder on a UK tour in 2003. So he would be out for, I think, the majority of the year. I think he would come back around November, October time. I could be wrong on that one. But yeah, this match was a really good match. Great way to finish off. I don't think there's any other tag team matches in this show. But out of all of them, this was one of the best ones. The story going into Test and Scott Steiner was okay. And the six-man tag was a good way to open up the show. So, let's get to the next match. Just before we carry on with the next match, beautiful frog splash from Eddie onto Shelton Benjamin. That was really nice. And the way the match finished was actually pretty good. Tajiri, Japanese buzzsaw, cheeky, sneaky and cheeky. Green mist to Shelton Benjamin's face to stop Eddie from, to basically help Eddie get the belt. Really good way to finish the match, I thought. Then we had Austin and Bischoff arguing, also saying that to Bischoff that Eddie is one of the best talents in the world. Here's the thing. Bischoff and Eddie were in WCW and actually sent Eddie off to Japan to do some work. I think he would actually leave WCW, not on Bischoff's part, due to, I can't remember why. They just, himself, Perry Saturn and Dean Malenko would leave WCW in 2000 to join WWE a day later, after Starrcade, if I recall. So, yeah, they're just talking about, hamburgers. Fuck off, not in the mood for that. Had a really nice build-up for the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal, which is up next. Talking about the history, the heritage, and the controversy, which is good. It's a really good thing to involve those things. Because you can have the good, but you also need to kind of show the bad and the controversy around that. So we've got the over-the-top rope Battle Royal for the Intercontinental title. We will watch that now. So just before we talk about the Intercontinental title match, I forgot about Jericho and Piper's exchange before the match. Oh my god, it was brilliant. Just those two just ragging on each other was fucking amazing. So, next up is the Intercontinental Championship over the top rope Battle Royal! But there is a rule. You must be a former Intercontinental Champion. Unless you're Booker T, which you just get a free pass. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we have 9 people in this match. We have got Lance Storm, Kane, Test, Val Venus, the returning Val Venus, Rob Van Dam, Goldust, Christian, Chris Jericho, and I think that was all of them, I think. Anyway, let's get, so pretty much it's just a battle royal. So first out was Lance Storm, then Kane, then he came back in and killed everybody, then Test, Val Venus was out next, then Rob Van Dam, Goldust, Christian, then we get a little bit of a singles match between Booker T and Christian because these two would be going into a feud, and then Booker T would fire out Christian, referee didn't see it, Christian comes back in, nails him with the Intercontinental Championship, and then Christian wins the Intercontinental Championship. Good match, good battle royal I thought, but it was a lot of people wanted either Rob Van Dam or Christian to win. Booker T or Rob Van Dam to win this match. The crowd had been dead this time. They only picked up when Eddie and Tajiri won the tag team titles, and people did give out a lot of cheers and yays for Rob Van Dam and Booker T, but Christian wins. But yeah, that's not too bad. Then I really don't want to talk about this, but this is 2003. Sable and Tori Wilson in a bikini contest. Skip. Just skip. Next up, Austin and Bischoff talk about whatever, drink more food, drink more beer. This is just getting boring between these two. I like Austin. I love Austin. I think he was one of the best, but this is just getting boring. Then we had Roddy Piper and Sean O'Haire. What happened with Sean O'Haire? This character was good. This Devil's Advocate character was fucking brilliant, if I recall. He was basically just saying, basically think of Lucifer. The actual TV show Lucifer. Think of him, think as Lucifer as that. That was good. Like, this character development was good for him, but they did fuck all with it. They did vignettes, but it never went anywhere. He just partnered up with Roddy Piper. And speaking of Roddy Piper, now, ladies and gentlemen, we have got Roddy Piper versus Mr. America. This is basically just Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper. Oh, yay. So, we just had Hulk Hogan, Mr. America, screw it, yeah, versus Roddy Piper. It was an okay match. Mr. America brings out Zach, can't think of his surname now, to basically sit down at ringside and watch the match. Vince tries to get involved. Zach stops him. Basically, it was just a bog standard Hogan Piper match, pretty much. Gets a 1, 2, 3, and Mr. America wins. Not their best match. Pretty bad. I think their match at WrestleMania 1 was better, even though that was a tag team match. It was still... This one wasn't good. So next up, we will have Triple H versus Kevin Nash for the world title, I think. So let's watch that. So we just had Triple H versus Kevin Nash with Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels in their corners, respectively. Brawl to start the match before the bell rings. Flair and Michaels go off into the back, carrying on the brawl. Kevin Nash and Hunter do get in the ring, so the match is officially run. This is a world title match. The amount of bullshit cheating in this match is bollocks. Completely BS. Just the amount of cheating. It's like, seriously, have a good match. These two can put it on. They're good friends, so they can put it on and just have the cheeky roll-up to get the win. But no, sledgehammer, low blows. It's not the best world title match, of my opinion. And this is during the reign of terror for Triple H. Not the best, not the best world title match that would happen. Armageddon 2002 would be one of my favourite world title matches. That would be Triple H and Shawn Michaels in a 3 Stages of Hell match. That was a good match. But this was just a one-sided ass-kicking from Kevin Nash onto Triple H, and Triple H just uses the sledgehammer to get the win. The DQ. Carry on the brawl. Kevin Nash would powerbomb Triple H through the announcers table for the Raw team, for the Raw commentary team. And that's pretty much a lot until Bad Blood, where these two would face off again in the main event in a Hell in a Cell match with Mick Foley as the special guest referee. I do that show, actually, down the line sometime. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's carry on with the next match. So, we just had the next match. Before that, we had Austin and Bischoff. Bischoff throwing up on the poor lass that's been bloody serving them all night. Feel sorry for her, but payday. We had a fatal 4-way in the for the WWE Women's Championship. Trish Stratus versus Jacqueline versus Victoria versus Jazz. This was a really good fatal 4-way match. I thought it was a good way to get the after the match we had. It was a good match. And yeah, it was a really fun it was only about 3-4 minutes, but it was a good 3-4 minute match. Jazz retains the title, and yeah, it was really fun. Now, ladies and gentlemen, main event time: Big Show versus Brock Lesnar in a stretcher match. Let's watch it. We just had Big Show versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship in a stretcher match. How was the match? For the first time in 17 years, the WWE would sanction a stretcher match. We haven't really seen a stretcher match since, to a degree. We have seen it with Shawn Michaels versus Batista at Extreme Rules One Night Stand in 2009, if I recall, but we haven't really seen one over the past number of years. This is basically your bog standard match. You put your opponent on a stretcher after beating the poo out of them and will them past the line. Not a bad match, not a bad concept, but it was really good. They used the ambulance match a little bit more. Case in point, Clash of Champions with Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre in an ambulance match this past week on pay-per-view. It was a decent match. Big Show and Brock are good at what they do. Ray would get involved to deliver the 619 to Big Show and then just get beat up. A really creative way to finish the match, though. Brock Lesnar would basically bring out a forklift, F5 Big Show, put him on an actual stretcher without the wheels, put him on the forklift, lift him up, and actually get him past the line. Really good way to finish the match. A strong idea that, a stretcher might collapse under Big Show. Also, there was some use of the stretcher in this match. It was a really good way to use it. Not too much, not too little. I think personally just the right amount to get the point across. But yes, it's a stretcher match. You're going to use it as a weapon. Really good way to do it. So, what did I think of Judgment Day 2003? Not the strongest show that WWE could put on. I mean, three tag team matches in a row to kick off the pay-per-view was a bit too much. Very good women's match, I thought, with the Fatal 4-Way women's match was good. The World title match was just bad. It was just rubbish. It was basically just a DQ. Stretcher match, I think, was the better out of the two World title matches. But what did I think overall? Raw or SmackDown? Which one put on the better matches? Well, I have to admit, I think SmackDown put on the better matches. You had the WWE Tag Team Championship match for SmackDown with the ladder match. You had the stretcher match for the world title. And you also had the 6-man tag opening the show. I thought that was good. And putting a SmackDown match to open and close the show was really good. Raw, yes, they did have the 9-person Battle Royal for the Intercontinental Championship. And they would also have Lawley C. Stones versus Test and Scott Steiner. But really, the world title let down the Raw side personally, in my eyes. The women's match was a nice breath of fresh air, but overall, I think SmackDown won the pay-per-view matches overall. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the return of the CWS. Now, it's been a while since an episode, but I will have an episode for you maybe in the coming days. But I do feel like it's autumn, weather's not getting good, I want to go back. I want to go back to summer. Why don't we go and have a bash at the beach? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching VCWS. I know, like I said, there's not been many in the episode. I will try and back them up. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. And as always, stay safe, keep it tight, and keep smiling. Bye-bye, guys.